around 11 p.m. on a Friday. I just ran 3 miles. I like to run, around 2 times per week. Not even for like the health aspect, it's just for like the mental aspect. I don't even do it to burn calories or to get in shape. I just do it because look at me. Like I look like I just was getting after it, right? And it all started this morning. I woke up at 4:45 a.m. Did my little morning routine, took my supplements. I got my meals prepped. I got my little lunchbox together for, my long shift. I always try to be prepared with at least, just enough food to last me a 14-hour shift because, I'm a truck driver. I work full time and I never know. I could be working a 6-hour shift all the way up to maybe 15-hour shift, 14, 16-hour shift. So I always just try to stay prepared. I bring like this, it's like a big backpack, but it's insulated, and I usually take maybe 3 meals. I eat 1 meal in the morning and then take 2 meals to go. One of them being my pre-workout meal, right? But when I woke up this morning and I was driving to work, I pray every morning while I drive to work. And I was just telling God, I was like, because I woke up this morning, I was like damn, I feel like I'm really feeling like this. Like I'm doing the same thing over and over, and I don't know, I'm just in the midst of it. And I had like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been lacking on, just my gratitude the past few weeks in the morning. Like I always make sure to journal at least 3 things that I'm grateful for every single morning, or at least pray for them. Pray and thank the Lord for 3 things that I'm grateful for, right? And I've been slacking on that, I'm not gonna lie. And today I was just feeling like, okay, like I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling like a little sad. I'm feeling like a little mundane. I'm feeling like I'm just doing the same thing every single day. And then I was just talking to God this morning when I was driving to work. I was like, okay, thank you, God, for allowing me to wake up another beautiful, blessed day full of, it's a blessing itself just to wake up and to be able to provide for myself, to have a good paying job, like a decent paying job. I feel like I make okay, like decent money, for my age. And I just kind of switched my mindset. I was like, okay, thank you, my Lord, for giving me this job, giving me this opportunity, giving me this chance to provide for myself today. And I just changed the way of thinking about it. Like I changed the way I was looking at it, instead of like, oh, I have to work. And I knew, like, because my managers they text the schedule every single night, and the night prior to this morning they texted me what I was gonna do. They told me I was going, like, pretty much, I live in Colorado, and they told me I was going up into the mountains, like a 3-hour drive. And I was like, fuck, I was just dreading it. Even like, though I'm a truck driver, I hate driving long distance. And I was like, fuck, like I was just dreading it. And like at nighttime, I was just like dreading to wake up. Like, I was like, okay, fuck. But I just simply just changed how I was thinking. I was like, okay, I haven't been showing my gratitude. I haven't been really being grateful for the things that I have. I've been focused on the things that I want. Let me just try to focus on the things that I have and that I could take care of. And I was like, okay, let me just thank the Lord. I was like, basically, I was just saying thank you for allowing me to provide for myself. And I was just, that just completely flipped my mindset for the whole day. And I kind of went back to my old self when I was living at my mom's. And I was just, every time I would go to work, I'd be so happy because I wouldn't have to pay any bills, right? And now I have all this stress on me of paying bills, going to work every single day, can't miss a day because I'll fall behind on my, I won't be on my budget or whatever. And just from that little tweak, bro, my day just got filled up with so much momentum. Like just that little mindset switch in the morning. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been slacking on just my gratitude in the mornings, and I've been feeling like I've been going through my days just a little mundane, like a little like I've been having like a victim mindset. And I go on to do my little 14-hour shift, right? Whatever, it was a long drive. I had to drop off some material in the mountains, and then I came back. I clocked out around 6 p.m. So 6:30 p.m. Yeah, 6:30 p.m. So 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. That's like what, 12, 13 hours. And I don't know. I just had this momentum like all day long. I was listening to, some podcasts while I was driving. I was listening to some good music. I was just enjoying my company. I was just reflecting on life. And I had like this, I don't know what it is, but when I think about my goals, when I think about any goals, fitness goals, career goals, anything, when I'm not actually like when I'm not actually, like, for example, when I'm thinking about running, it's like a whole lot more motivating and it seems like a whole lot more doable. When I think about going to the gym, getting a pump, it's a whole lot more like imagining it is a whole lot more like, it brings you more pleasure because you're like, okay, you can imagine yourself getting like a nice pump. You can imagine yourself, sweaty after a nice gym session, a nice run. Like, it's so nice imagining it. But once you actually get to, like, for example, after my 14-hour shift, I was like, fuck, I had legs and abs on the schedule. I had to hit legs and abs. And my whole day, driving my truck, that long, like 12, 13-hour shift, I had like this surge of energy. I was like, okay, I can't wait to go hit the gym. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. But when I got off of my shift, I was tired as fuck. Like I always am. I'm always so tired. And I don't know how to explain it, but you're not going to get by with discipline. You're not going to get by with motivation. Well, with discipline, yes. You're not going to get by with motivation. Motivation and discipline, I can argue that being obsessed and being angry is better than being motivated and being disciplined, okay? I mean, I guess they go kind of hand in hand, but let me explain myself. When I was 300 pounds, when I was close to 300 pounds, I was living in my mom's, I didn't have a job. I was in high school. I was, just looking for a way out. I was sick of how I was being treated. I was just sick of my life, okay? I was sick of how people would treat me. I was sick of how I couldn't even stick up, like I couldn't be confident in any social situations. I could never like stick up for myself. I was like so scared to take up room in any room. Like I just felt like I was just better off in the shadows. I felt like I would just see myself lower than everybody else, okay? And that reflected into my whole life, and everyone would just walk all over me, bully me, do whatever they wanted with me. I would just be like the fat, funny friend that, would make everyone laugh, would try to, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't have any real friends. I would go back home to myself, knowing, like, you know how it goes. And I was sick of that. And, I would try to, lock in. I'd try every single diet in the book. I would try every single workout. And, I would be motivated, then I'd fall off. I'd be motivated, then I'd fall off. I'd try to be disciplined for a week. I'd fall off. Nothing would stick. But there was like this one day where I tell the story a lot. Maybe I should stop telling it. But like, I got rejected one day when I was pretty fat. Pretty much, I really liked this girl, and she rejected me. I thought we had some chemistry. Pretty much, she just let me off easy. And she, like a week later, she said she didn't want, like, she rejected me, and she was like, I don't want anything serious. And then all I remember was like a week later, she had like a new man. And I did some self-reflection. I was like, okay, maybe it's because I'm fat and I'm ugly. I'm not taking care of myself. And ever since that, like from that point on, I was angry. And like, I don't care now. Like, I don't care now. Like, it's been like 6 years. It was just my little canon event. I just wanted to tell you my little story, my reasoning why. And that's gonna happen to you too, bro. You're not gonna change until you're like absolutely like fucking tired of something. You're not gonna, this is why I'm arguing, like aggression, like being angry and being obsessed with getting to where you want to get to is going to take you so much more further than being disciplined or being motivated. Because that motivation, like I said, I was motivated when I was, in my truck driving for 8 hours straight today, 6 hours, 7 hours straight today. I was so motivated. I was, so hyped up to go hit legs. And, I was so hyped up to hit this run because I did a 14-hour shift. I hit legs and abs, and I still came to this run like right after, right? And, when I got off of my shift, I was like, fuck. Like, it's time. I was driving home I clocked out, I was driving home, and I got home. I did my little routine that I always do when I get home to make sure that like I get out of the house as fast as I can, because if you're anything like me, if you slow down for a little bit, you'll kill your whole momentum. And that's how, like, if I slow down a little bit, like for example, after a long shift, I go home and maybe I scroll on TikTok. Maybe I, lay down. I deserve a little nap. I was tired, so like let me just, like, no one's gonna know, like it's okay. But like those little things that you think aren't gonna make a big difference, those are the things that kill your momentum. And when you're trying to get somewhere, and all these little things are just adding up, and you're just not being mindful of them, they're gonna fucking kill your momentum. And that's the most important thing that's gonna keep you like angry. That's gonna keep you have to keep like those momentum of being angry and being obsessed of getting that shit done. You shouldn't be able to get a good night's sleep until you've done whatever you have to do, whatever it is, doing your workout, going to the grocery store to get your meal prep, working on that business, whatever it is. That's pretty much how my brain operates. And people say it's unbalanced, but I mean, I could argue, like, yes, it's going to be unbalanced. If you want to get somewhere, you're not going to have like this balance. Like I just said, you're going to kill them fucking momentum. You have to go like balls deep, like fuck all in on one thing. And once you get there, you can start, looking for that balance. Like for me, when I was 280, 270 pounds, the last thing that I should have been looking for was balance. I should have just been, and which I did. I lost 100 pounds in 8 months because I was angry and I was obsessed. I was obsessed with bettering myself, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I was in my mom's house, in high school. I didn't have any income. I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't have anyone in my corner. It was just me. It was just my thoughts. It was just my experiences that made me so upset with myself. It made me so just tired of being mistreated. I was tired of being the last option. I was tired of being, the background character in the movie. That's what I felt like. I wanted to be my own main character, like my own main character. I wanted to feel like I was worth something. I was sick of people pleasing. So I started pleasing myself. Pause, not like that. Like I started just making myself feel good, with ways of, working out, eating healthy. But in the beginning, don't get it twisted, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just obsessed. I was like, okay, I gotta lose this fucking weight. All I know is I have to eat healthy, maybe eat less, and run. I was running every single day. I remember little old me, I was waking up 4 a.m. before school. I was running. Maybe I'd run, it wasn't a lot, maybe every like 2 miles every single morning. But I was super active, getting a bunch of steps. High school, at the high school campus. And I would do sports, I would play football and stuff. And I would literally just starve myself because I was so like obsessed. And I'm not telling you to do this because that led me to, getting skinny fat. I lost 100 pounds, but I got skinny fat. I just looked like a bag of milk. I got gallstones. I got gallstones in my gallbladder. Pretty much I had to get my gallbladder removed. And, I'm not making this a sob story or whatever. I just want to let you know. And I developed like this eating disorder. I developed bulimia. I developed, a binge eating disorder. I developed like this terrible like relationship with food. I don't even like to call it a relationship. I was just so scared of food. I was scared of eating, fueling my body. I thought it was just out to get me. But that's a different point. I'm kind of rambling right now. But like I said, going back to the point, when I got off my shift today, I took a shower. I did my little routine that I always do. Come home, I drink my pre-workout. As like 5 minutes before I get to my apartment, I drink my pre-workout. It's literally right here. Today I'll drink this. It's kind of late to be drinking pre-workout, but it is a Friday, and I'd rather be doing this than going out, getting drunk, getting wasting not only today but wasting tomorrow because I'd be hungover. I'd waste even a day after that because my momentum would be gone. You just have to keep this momentum going. Once you fucking kill the momentum, it's gonna get a whole lot harder. It's gonna get a whole lot harder to get that ball rolling. And excuse me if I keep rambling. I have ADHD. But I did my little routine. I drank my pre-workout and I took a shower. First, like I literally walk in, take my boots off, take my clothes off, my work clothes off, my dirty work clothes, hop in the shower, I play some music. While that energy drink is just coursing through my veins, I'm trying to just get hyped back up. I'm trying to, like, if you've ever seen a campfire, like on its last few sparks, and if you ever seen like people fanning it, like to get like fanning the last few sparks to get like to reignite it again, you know, adding more wood. That's what it kind of is like after my shift. I'm just trying to reignite the wood, reignite the fire so I could, you know, burn big and bright again. And I was doing that, and I got out of the shower, I got dressed, I was, you know, feeling good. I put on a nice outfit. I always like to be presentable, because if I look good, I'm gonna feel good and I'm gonna perform well. That's how I was operated in everywhere I went. That's just part of my, just part of me. That's what how I always operated, right? And, you know, I got in my car, whatever, and I was just sitting in the gym parking lot. I was like, fuck, man, like I really do not want to do this. And it took me a while to, you know, get in the gym and, you know, actually start warming up. But once I started, like, it was like a wall, bro. It was like a little wall I had to jump over. I parked and I was kind of, you know, scrolling on my phone a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm procrastinating right now. But every time I procrastinate, I just think of the analogy of, you have a cup full of energy every single day. You have to pour it out. Regardless, you have to empty it every single day. How are you going to empty this cup? Are you going to empty it scrolling? Are you going to empty it, you know, pushing your workout further away, pushing that task that you know you have to do further away for tomorrow, maybe for tomorrow, and, you know, just spill that cup of energy into like the void of, you know, just a dark void of, you know, nothingness? Or are you going to spill that cup and might as well use it? You're already, you know, in the moment, you're already, you know, ready to do what you have to do. Are you going to just use it and channel it, the last bit of it, to, you know, pour it into the void of nothingness? Or are you gonna pour it into your fucking workout? You're gonna pour it into, you know, scrape that last little bit of energy out, you know, at the end of the day. Like today, I really pushed myself. I pushed my limits a lot. You know, I did my leg workout. I have fucked up knees. I have a fucked up back. I got hit by a car when I was like 14. I have slip discs in my back, but I still hit legs, abs, and, you know, I came to run. It's probably 11:30 p.m. right now on a Friday night, and instead of being out chasing, you know, meaningless, you know, whatever, relationships, chasing, you know, just going out for the fuck of it, I'm over here trying to better myself. I'm over here trying to just prove a point to myself. Like I said, I don't run for the fitness aspect of it. I run because I told myself I was going to do it in the first place, right? And I do it because it just really gives me an edge. Like, I run every Monday and Friday usually. That's what I've been switching it to. But it means something to me, right? Monday, it's like the most sluggish day for everybody, right? Monday, it's like, you know, the stereotype for Monday is like, oh, it's a Monday, though, like whatever. But no, I try to completely, like, it's like you have to live by your own rules. Why would you listen to society's like stereotype of Monday? Like, I'm making my own fucking rules. I don't want to be average. If you look at the average person in America, they're fucking fat, they're fucking obese. Why would you fucking listen to them? Why would you listen to your coworkers? Why would you listen to anybody why would you take anyone's advice that, you know, you don't want to be anything like in the future? That's how I see it, right? And so to combat that, I run Mondays to set the tone for the whole week. And then on Fridays, I like to set the tone for the weekends, right? I want to go home, you know, enjoy a nice meal. I want to go to bed. You know, I want to wake up early. I want to work on my business. I want to, you know, take these. I started to rest weekends, but I still want to be productive. I want to work on my relationships. I want to work on, you know, just bettering myself. I don't want to wake up Saturday morning drunk, hungover, you know, not knowing what to do, just fucking floating through life with nothing going for me, like no plans, no ambition. Like what are we doing here? But the point of this video is, I'm trying to say that being angry at your situation is actually a really good thing. Being upset with yourself is actually a really good thing. Hating yourself is actually a really good thing if you frame it the right way. Not in a way of, you know, trying to off yourself, but in a way of, okay, I'm so sick of myself. I love myself enough to change, and I'm fucking angry, and I'm gonna let the world feel it. Every L that I take, every little inconvenience that happens in my life, I make sure like to put it in my pocket. Okay, I've learned, you know, ever since I was young, I've learned to, you know, not react right away. But when some shit bothers me, I really remember it. I really put it in my pocket. I take an L, but I put it in my pocket, And I learned how to like harvest it and bring it out in those moments where I'm feeling like I'm, you know, procrastinating. I'm feeling like a little bitch. I'm feeling like I don't want to do this. Like, oh, I'm tired. Like before I ran, I literally called my friend, right? I'm not gonna lie. I called my friend. I asked him, I was like, hey, what are you doing? You want to go get some food? Because I'm a fat kid. I'm craving like some food. And I'm not saying that I can't, but the whole reason of the whole reason I'm doing like all this shit, another reason, not the whole only reason, but another reason, like I've built this high credit body, I've built this high credit mind, that I've built this balance in my life. I've worked so hard to get where I am with my physique. You know, I have these amazing habits, amazing eating habits, amazing training habits. You know, I get 10-20,000 steps every single day. I work out 5 times a week. I lift weights 5 times a week. So when I do want to eat something that, you know, is off plan, you know, enjoying a meal with my friend, with the girl, with family, I could do it without feeling guilty. And, you know, it just is like in perfect harmony with what I'm doing. Because, like, I'm not even running, bro. I'm trying to connect this all together. I'm trying to get you to understand this, right? Like I said, I have ADHD. I'm sorry. It's been a long ass day. I'm tired. But before my run, I called my friend. I was like, hey, what are you doing? I was literally procrastinating. I was like, hey, you want to get some food, or what are you doing? He told me he was at the gym. When he told me he was at the gym, I felt like a fat chud. I was like, oh, what? He's at the gym and I'm over here asking to go get some In-N-Out or to go eat some food. So I was like, okay, I'll call you when I'm done with this workout. And, you know, I ran. I did an easy run. And I don't know how to explain this, but once you lose enough weight, once you get in shape, once you stop being obese, once you build like this skill of being able to balance, being able to just enjoy life. The whole reason I got in shape was to enjoy life, to have a better life, right? I don't see the point of people being locked in, like not eating like a single like processed food. Like, yeah, you should be eating clean 90% of the time, but 10% of the time I'm eating my favorite food because I'm still a fat kid at heart. But it's a skill that you have to build, right? Because at first I was, you know, binge eating. When I would try to have balance, I wouldn't know how to control it. But if you want help with that, just watch my videos, bro. I literally tell you how to do it. Go follow my Instagram. I'm tying my shoe. Go follow my Instagram. I post on there every single day. I'm a lot more consistent on there. But yeah, bro, the main message of this video is that being aggressive, being angry, you know, in your current situation, being obsessed with the outcome will get you further than anything else in life. And that's what I will always die by. That's my motto. That's what got me to lose 100 pounds and keep it off. Every day I'm constantly fighting the old fat version of myself. That's also why I decided to be so disciplined, because once I slip a little bit, once I, you know, slack off a little bit, that's when the cookie starts to crumble. I wake up late, you know, I don't do my morning routine, I don't pray, you know, I don't pack my meals in the morning. That's when the cookie starts to crumble and the old me starts coming back. Anytime you don't feel like doing some shit, it's normal. Everyone deals with it. But you just have to realize that it's just the old version of yourself trying to self-sabotage you. And once you understand that, you'll snap out of it every single time you feel like that, because you're like, oh, you motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you. And that's how you have to operate every single day. I'm sorry for rambling. Like, subscribe, and please follow my Instagram. I'm a lot more active on there. And sorry for the ADHD spasms today. It's just been a long day. I've been getting like 4 hours of sleep every single day. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.